the more and more validation you get from someone that you're paying to be the yes person to, they're the yes person. You just pay them to say yes to you, to validate what it is that you have simulated as your reality as a story that is exactly what that is. I'm not dismissing anything. I'm just nothing but a burning light, a catalyst, a conduit to several thousands, 10,000-year-old ancient Taoist practices that have been sound, battle-tested and proven and are sought after in this day and age, understanding our affinity with the universe, with the energy, our understanding how to master that and utilize it. And I can tell you from over 30 years experience doing this, your emotions don't control you, you control your emotions. Mic drop. Thank you, Vanity, for an incredible, amazing entry into the magical mystery ride that is the 80s. How you captured that glow, the glamour, the electric power that just comes with innovation, exploration, excitement, excess. What a magical mystery ride that is. The 80s. Welcome to the consciousness of the way, my divine, delectable co-host, High Priestess Jade.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm your humble servant and Sifu, Taoist Master Sun Quinn. And I want to thank Vanity for once again gracing us with her presence. I'm always here for you, girlfriend. Please feel free to hum and share and enrich our experience as she does so very often. Well, we talk about the magical mystery of the 80s. More so regressing back to the future. You know, how exciting it is for us to look at how no matter how many times people reinvent the wheel, they're never ever going to be able to replicate or innovate or eliminate the ancient high-tech tools that are basically the architecture of a human being, and how that's kind of like where we keep going. AI, no match. 21st century computers, no match. 21st century medicine, no match. No matter how hard you attempt to avoid the complete obvious, which has been done so many times before over the course of history that we know of, you're always going to come back to the source.
Yeah. Just like stories. You kind of think about like the fairy tales or the fables that you were told as a kid, and it's like some of them don't even exist anymore. Like, you know, people don't even I was telling our kids, like, you know, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And I was thinking, some kids like have no idea what that is, or like have never been told it before. I mean, if it doesn't continue being passed on and this kind of shift in your mind, it's like it just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It has to be remembered.
I mean, that would be very evidentiary in the sense of evidence of proof of ancient texts and scriptures, i.e. Tao Te Ching, i.e. the I Ching, i.e. even as fresh and as modern in people's minds, the Bible, the Quran, there's a variation of these scriptures throughout time, the Dharma. And so you look at how people are running from this ancient practice where by design human beings are healers, by design human beings are innovators, by design human beings are creative, i.e. concept, creation, birth of a human being. That's what we do. That's our bag, baby. And so understanding the magic of that, it's just truly profound. That ancient technology, being able to reproduce. And, speaking from a Taoist perspective over thousands of years, and especially over the last century, the eradication of Taoism within the Eastern culture was prevalent at one point, and now we're having a resurgence, an awakening, an opportunity to regroup and take these ancient practices, ancient scriptures, the canon of, cycles, producing, cultivating, regenerating ancient cycles that really are the foundation of what we know today as modern traditional Chinese medicine, i.e. anything and everything that you can think of that has been created or innovated today came from some ancient practice that has already existed for thousands of years.
Yeah, I mean, that just gets into like just the power of like plants or like, different herbs or, hallucinogens, all these things that have existed way long before us, but people are starting to go kind of come back around, if you want to call it the medical community or the scientific community, and be like, wow, look at the properties of this and what it can do naturally. And, that's thousands of years ago what people were using as medicine, as healing techniques, as tools, as practices.
Yeah. And I mean, as I mentioned before, our relationship as Taoists with the universe, our affinity with the universe, our understanding the universe is us, we are the universe, all is one, one is all. Effortless flow, effortless action, the realization of how powerful you are individually and collectively, the singular. And so if we replay or go back in time, there was a point in our history that Taoists were being eradicated due to our basic fundamental understanding of our connection. We were used over the centuries, over thousands of years, as the prophet and I, or healer, magic man, whatever you want to call it. And we would be the consultant to the emperor of that particular stage of history, that moment in time, the reign of any particular ruler. And so we were always the go-to. And at one point throughout history in the last 100 years, or actually more than that, we were public enemy number one because of our ability to source, our ability to have instant connection, our ancient practices and tools to connect and to wire ourselves as the field, the one, the all, the everything. And these ancient practices are second to none. I may sound biased, and everyone has their own road to their own nirvana, their own realization, their own evolution. But I will say to you, Taoists have got it down second to none in energy cultivation and our awareness to our sensory perception. And pretty much anything that you can think of that is a man-made drug, we can do 1,000 times better job cultivating that within this vehicle.
And I think that was intimidating to a lot of that people during that time, you know. So it was, people always go like, oh, what's Taoist? I've never even heard of it before.
Exactly. Well,
and it's like, there's a reason for that. And then a lot of people who did survive or passed it on, you know, kind of hidden secrecy, and were very secretive about it. That's why there is a lot of misdirection in the information you'll find nowadays, because they were, you know, kind of bred in that to be very secretive and not want to share everything, because of that, you know, you were viewed as like a threat.
Well, and that was a big component, right? So any ruler, emperor, i.e. emperor, wanted exclusivity to these powers, and then made it, you know, outlawed to practice or cultivate. And at one point we were erased, i.e. Taoist masters, practitioners, priests, any sort of people of faith to Taoism in of itself, and the temples were erased. Everything was erased. At one point within Eastern culture, there was only one or two masters left within China, and you know, they wanted to go forward with this idea that we need to be advanced with the technology of Western world. And soon, very quickly, they realized they made a big mistake. And so there was a specific example of this where at that particular time, the president of the country outlawed Taoism, eradicated all the Taoists, and then was left with one or two of his cabinet members that were plagued with cancer, and he was using Western medicine, having not prevailing with the the antidote that would be necessary to reverse what was suggested as something so mortality revealing, like cancer, which within Taoist practices is a non-moot type of scenario where it's very easily diffused and eradicated, as if anything, a stagnant energy, an irregulation that is finally tuned, eradicated, erased from your field, and voila, It's a miracle. And so this particular event, they ended up poo-hooing all the Eastern stuff. We need to go, this old stuff, we need to go with the new stuff. Anyway, that was failing dramatically, and ultimately the thing that was clear was they went back to the ancient Eastern practices, and they sought out the last couple of masters that were left, and they were able to get a resolve, get a healing, and move right along, validating what we all know. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. It's already inside you. The power of this is as simple as understanding how to lock yourself, how to unlock yourself, finding that secret code which is within you, and using the practices that we have developed, that we've been handing down from generation to generation for thousands of years as Taoists, using them to cultivate, to elevate, to generate this incredible masterful link that is so tangible, and you understand how powerful and how palpable. Just as I'm speaking on it, you can feel how palpable the energy is, how tangible the energy is right here in the space. It's magnetizing, electrifying. It's second to none. And with that, you get the ability to direct that, redirect that, use your attention, intention, and manifest whatever it is that you would like as you ride the ebb and flow of the field. As it pulsates, you take the high, not the low, creating the manifestation, the magic, the healing, using energy, frequency, vibration, understanding that it's a thought, feeling, and an emotion, and booyah.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I kind of think of the energy like a sprinkler system, where it's like all the water flows, and it should flow to everything to make it thrive. But if one of the pipes break and it floods here and none of the water gets there, or it's blocked, or there's a root, or there's something stuck, that's the same with your energy. It needs to be removed for that perfect flow. And once you have that, everything just thrives, whether it's physical, spiritual, mental, emotional. It just all works together.
Yeah, very good point, Jade. Very good point. It's like, really, you start with a proton. You open that as the perfect entryway to the infinite, abundance, timeless, endless, limitless black hole that is the connection for you and your connection as you are the universe. The universe is you, and it ripples up, in effect, connecting the dots, understanding that we are talking about trillions of these. We are talking about trillions of cells. We are talking about the millivolt surge, that 0.07 millivolt surge that's within that cellular structure that is your physical body, that when you are in concert with that, using your ability to connect, to use your attention, intention, to circumvent and redirect energy in any way that you choose to, using the power that you have, your consciousness, and you level up your consciousness to create whatever it is, whenever it is, however it is, within this 3D reality. That is a mastered skill that everyone has the ability to obtain. There are no exceptions to the rule. If you have neurology, if you have 5 senses, you will be affected by your ability to create a sensory perception of your electromagnetic field that gives you the ability to access highest levels of consciousness, using your neurology, your physical body, as a tuning fork that is the indicator to validate what your experience, a visual, audible experience, creating a kinesthetic response. That is real, and it's real to you, validated right here, right now. Booyah.
Yeah, I had a little bit of an epiphany about that too, because you were talking about that, and I was thinking, you know how people say the thing like, oh, I'm so exhausted, and then like 5 minutes later it's like, oh, you're like, are you all right? And they're like, oh, I got a second wind. And it's like, what is that? Like, people say it and people get it, or like, oh, I got a sudden boost of energy. And it's like within 5 minutes, nothing changed. It's not like they had an energy drink or a cup of coffee, or it was like all of a sudden they just
do you want the answer?
Yeah, yeah.
You want the answer on that?
Well, I think I know the answer.
I think you know the answer.
Yes, please share, because I was thinking about that saying that people say so often, but it kind of, all the little dots connected.
Right. So like shift of consciousness, right? Jade makes this incredible observation, an epiphany, a realization of wherever your attention goes, intention, the energy flows. So it can't be more simplistic than the example that Jade just gave us, which is basically understanding that you become a sympathizer to your emotions, which redirect your attention. So over here, you decide that you bear victim to the victimhood mentality, to surrender to your emotional state, and you have basically submitted to the fact that your emotions control you, you don't control your emotions. And with that comes the incredible resource that is your life force, that is the Jing, that is the Qi, that is the electromagnetic field. It is in every cell in your being, and is the vehicle that anchors your internal immortal self to this human being experience that you are having right now. And that is the spirit, the consciousness, that is all that is. So when you surrender to these emotions, you submit to them, you bend a knee, you subscribe to the idea that you have no control, you are victim to your emotions are the master, you will feel the pain. You will feel the drain. You will feel the realization that you have no control, which is incorrect. And understanding that second wind, I got a second wind, oh my goodness, I got some more juice, is because they paused the normal regular programming, and they went to where they should be, which is the oneness. They allowed themselves to be who they really are, the creators, the master creator, the keeper of their reality. And with that, oh my goodness, you get a surge. Whoa. You get a super surge, a supercharge of realization that you were taking your focus and attention, submitting to this emotion, this thought, feeling, and emotion, and you were going down with the ship, feeling your energy being sucked from your very life force as you surrender to your emotions and believe that they are controlling your very essence of who you are. And all they are doing is hijacking this tool, this vehicle that you use to house your spirit, your consciousness within this reincarnation, leading you to a moment of, I'm not going to even surrender the word weakness, but let's use that because people subscribe to the idea that there is such a thing, but that is within your vocabulary or within your linguistics, your understanding what is important to you, how you perceive your reality, and that comes with the linguistics that come out of your mouth at an unconscious level, creating the reality that you are subject to right now, and that would come from your mental emotional state. Yeah. And so, exactly as Jade described it, your intention, focus on the emotion, and you literally feel your battery going, and you're like, help me, Scotty, we have a problem. Captain Kirk, there's something wrong with the plot. You know, I'm really not a Star Trek fan, to be honest, but it sort of just came in there at that particular moment. I had to sort of like attempt to echo Scotty from Star Trek. I don't even think that's the right accent, but, you know, Captain Kirk, which I'm an old-time fan of Captain Kirk, but not as Captain Kirk, more like Michael Myers. But anyway, that's not the point. Just so all the people out there are going, say, what now, Sifu? What did you say? Captain Kirk's Michael Myers? What? That's ridiculous. Do a history check, okay? When they were making that movie and John Carpenter decided to reach deep inside his imagination and create this entity, this spirit, this energy, which is very tangible, very real to whoever opens themselves up to the frequency, vibration, and energy of that. And with that comes the pandering of your emotions, once again, fear, i.e., which creates the environment that energy can thrive in. And it starts from here, okay? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So they were scrambling to find this so-called character that they had they hadn't defined it. So one of the FX guys, this makeup special effects guys, grabbed a mask from a party store, a Halloween store, and it was of Captain Kirk from Star Trek. They said, "Oh my goodness, he looks like Mr. Cleaver from the Beavers." And Beaver Cleaver, that's a famous TV show from the 50s, by the way, just in case everyone's cancelled history completely. That's American TV, the old traditional concept of, husband, wife, and 2 kids, and the old evolution of reality that has been sort of like null and void over time. But that beside the point, Captain Kirk looked like, I don't know, pretty boring. So they said, why don't we paint his face white, add some kind of weird-ass wig to the character's face, and voila, we have Michael Myers. How interesting, now echoing in the minds of many that submit to that spirit and energy, and you're creating it due to your fear-based reality, and that's completely okay. But this is a point of consciousness, as you cannot see what you have. You cannot unsee what you've already seen. This is your wake-up call to realize you do not have to be controlled by your fears. Mm. They're your fears, so you have a choice to tell them to kick rocks, and they're not being entertained today. Evict them. Don't even pander to them. Don't entertain them, because it's just a moment in time that you're submitting to that. Imagine the conveyor belt that's in front of you, ladies and gentlemen, and you are picking and choosing which emotion you prefer or you don't prefer. And with that, you also have, it's as simple as a story. And so your movie, your reality is the smorgasbord on, one of the famous movie platforms. I'll leave them nameless, as I'm not plugging any of them. But then you just hit play, and then you can pause it, then you can shelf it, and you don't even have to entertain it. And this is a mastery that we're talking about. You have the ability inside you. This is not mysterious or foreign to you. You are a natural-born healer. You are a natural-born creator. You are a natural-born manifestator. Yeah. You have it within you. This is the ancient stuff that Jade and I are talking about, that is innate, ingrained into your very DNA at a subatomic level. Mm-hmm. And all we're doing is refreshing what you already know. You know it. You're here going, why does this feel fundamentally very natural to me? I have this instinct, this intuition that I believe what they're saying resonates with me somehow, because it's in your DNA. It's in your very essence. The sacred words, the sacred symbols, the sacred numbers, they're yours and yours alone. That's why it resonates with you. That's why you gravitate to an ancient scripture, an ancient text, an ancient practice, because it's inside of you.
Yeah, it's like you can think of it like being the producer, where they're like sitting in the little booth and they have like 20 cameras and they're like, okay, what shot do we want now? Okay, go to camera 1. We want a close up. Okay, camera 3 now, and camera 4. It's like, that's you, and except on the cameras is just your life. So it's like, oh, get rid of anger today. Yeah, we want to bring happiness back in. Oh, look, I just saw my best friend. Now it's joy and silly. And like, oh no, the fear that, I'm driving. Nope, throw that out. I mean, it's literally just like panning, different cameras like a big TV producer. That is the power
that
that
we
you
all
have.
We all have. You have.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Jade and I used all this ancient practice, ancient cultivation, ancient scripture. We integrated into a contemporary offering of an ancient practice, mastering yourself, using visual, audible experience, creating a kinesthetic response that instantly gives you the supercharge, the realization that you are the field is you. And with that comes the access point to manifest, to create magic, to create healing, which has always been your Tao-given right in the very core of who you are. You have these abilities. We all have these abilities, and they're for yours for the taking. They're for yours for the nurturing. They're for yours for the realization that you can do anything.
Yeah, it's like breath work. We always kind of laugh. I know. We kind of
Really?
laugh.
You really
laugh.
had to use that one, right?
That's a
It's like,
it's
oh
a
my
little
goodness.
bit of a dirty word
Oh my
in
goodness.
our household.
And I mean, again, I am not passing judgment, but it's a dismissal. It's almost like and this is the biggest issue that my personality, not my divine self, not my priest self, my personality has an issue with it, only because of this dismissal of such an ancient practice that is so powerful. We have thousands of different breath techniques that we use using Qigong, and we integrate that with Nigong, and we become the powerful powerhouses that we are, and we offer that to you within the 126 experience. And just as I rudely interrupted Jade, please continue.
Oh, I was just going to say, everyone is breathing all the time, unconsciously, all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
We are not teaching you like, oh, we discovered breath or like, you know what I mean? Everyone's already doing it. We're just refining that tool that you already have to be able to expand it to an almost impossible level that somebody might
they might perceive it as impossible, that it's a miracle, but no, it's something that you have inside you. Exactly. And you're accessing what you already know.
Exactly. And it's just opening that access. We're not claiming to have found it. You already have it. It's already there.
No, we're not claiming. We're telling you with a knowing, all these ancient Taoist practices will reunite you. Reunited, and it feels so good. Will reunite you with everything that you know. It will, bam, it'll slap you into your realization of how powerful you are. That's why these ancient Taoist practices have been handed down from generation to generation for thousands of years, and they have always held the test of time to be the most profound affinity the human being has with the universe, with the energy, and our integrated ability to master that and direct it in any way, shape, or form using your visual, audible experience, creating a kinesthetic response. The amount of feedback that we're getting from the Way 126 experience is something that is mind-blowing to me, even though it's not mind-blowing to me knowing what is possible, which is anything. So, people are having healings all over the place, from healing their grandmother from an ailment, being in a coma, and then she's coming out of it in 24 hours. The doctor's telling her she has, 3 hours to live, to, healing family animals, to eliminating back pain, to, you can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on, manifesting anything and everything that they can imagine, something as simple as, winning a lottery ticket, or creating some type of scenario where they're manifesting, their friend to call them, which is always a refreshing one. Well, it's not really a manifestation. Like, you are seriously synchronized. A great testing of the waters, the first one that has no emotional content, is think of someone and watch them call you, because that's the powerhouse that is the interconnection of this whole infrastructure that we talk about, which is the Tao, which is the universe, which is the field, that you are it. And that's why it becomes so simplistic and so absolutely riveting and captivating and infectious. When you do it, you get a taste and you don't want to stop. You don't have to stop, because that's your knowing and operating in that 5D reality that changes and alters things in this 3D reality. So, I mean...
It's funny. I just kind of think of like a personal experience. Like, always as a kid, both my parents were teachers, so we always had the whole summer off, all of us as a family, and we'd always travel during the summer. And I never kind of looked at it this way, but whenever we'd be on vacation and it would be this kind of like fun time, we're all together, we're camping, we're doing these things, we'd have these crazy coincidences like happen. And it was like stepping outside of the kind of day-to-day grind, the different thing, and really connecting and like being in that flow. I always remember these stories, and they would always be on vacation. Like, we'd always be on vacation somewhere, and we'd be, traveling 3,000 miles away and literally run into our next door neighbor. And like, back in the day, we didn't have cell phones or anything, like, you know what I mean? And it was like, why are you here? Oh, I'm here on a business trip. And we'd run into them at like a restaurant, like really weird things that like shouldn't happen, but like did often. Often. And I do have to attribute it to like just being connected, and again, being on vacation, and kind of that coherence of being joyful, grateful, happy, all of those incredible virtues.
Yeah. And that's reflectant. That's a magical, mystical serendipity moment where Jade is talking about this as coherence, which we preface on when we talk about synchronizing, is linking everything, so you are oscillating and you are riding that ebb and flow pulsating wave that is the universe, so that you can catch your highest wave. You can ride the tube. You are the tube. Understand that. And that's when that evoking of that stillness, the Wu Ji within you, and you create what seems to be effortless action, which it is, and you are oscillating, and the energy is rotating around you at beyond light speed. And so, is that tangible, Sifu? Absolutely. You can slow it down to anything that you want. It starts here, which really means it starts here. I say, what now? Sifu, what did you say? Remember, guys, we have a brain inside our heart. We have a brain here. We have a brain here. Only the singular is the commander-in-chief, the most dominant one, that creates the rippling effect, the coherence that connects you with the earth and the universe, using this vehicle, this human body, as your tuning fork to create manifestation, create magic, create healing instantaneously. And that's why we have all these incredible results that are coming out of the Way 126, is because once you get that baseline, anything is possible. And that's what you need to do. As a Taoist, that's the first thing we master, is the realization that the emotions don't control you, you control your emotions. And with that creates the coherence, which from a proton level all the way up to something as tangible as your physical body, you will come to that realization. It all synchronizes at once. It's instantaneous, and you are affecting change instantly, wherever, however, whoever you want to, manifesting, healing, and magic all at the same time. And that oneness is that realization. And you it's like a Shazam moment, and it's a rippling effect. That stillness that's inside that tornado, that hurricane that we speak of, that is the field, is absolutely profound, because once you cultivate that energy, once you've created that ability to, as we do, as Taoists use Nigong, which is moving energy with our mind, Qigong, moving energy with our breath, falling on the quantum physics model, understanding the epigenetic model, encapsulating the 11 herbs and spices that is ancient Taoist practices on top of the Nigong and Qigong, integrated into the Way 126 experience, which is a visual audible experience creating a kinesthetic response, giving you the realization, the confirmation, the activation of the field that is you. You are the field is you. That oneness, that singularity that creates the magic, that is a magic manifestation, healing instantaneously. This may be a baseline. When people go through the first level, which is 9 weeks, you instantly are being wired to your own acknowledgement and realization of your power within the first several seconds of being exposed to the Way 126, because there's a chain reaction, an event that takes place, starting with the sensor neurons within your heart, connecting with the motor neurons in your brain, creating a mirror effect within your gut. That is the 3 incredible treasures: upper dantian, middle dantian, lower dantian, moon, earth, sun, and with that brain, heart, gut, creating that oneness that is that synchronizing frequency is 0.1 hertz. And that's the earth. 0.1 hertz is the heart, and 0.1 hertz is the universe. You got to remember, everything is in the whole encompassing singular experience, making everything one. Consciousness is everything. It's not compartmentalized. Understand this, ladies and gentlemen, ladies. When you have that acceptance, you are not attempting to bend the cell phone. You are the cell phone. You're not attempting to bend the mic. You are the mic. You're not attempting to manifest a healing. You are the healing. You're not attempting to manifest the bag of money. You are the bag of money. And it's profound when you're in the driver's seat and you have that synergistic moment of realization, and everything just turns on like a Christmas tree. And by the way, once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. It will never be, your experience will never be the same. It will only build in magnitude, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. Your first time will seem like it never ends. Your 100th time will seem like your first time. It's the experience, the miracle, the most incredible, amazing, magnificent mystery ride that is the human experience as an eternal immortal in this reincarnation.
Yeah. I think that's, I don't know, I kind of think that's why people feel so connected to like objects or even animals, or like, you know, oh, my spirit animal, or oh, I feel so connected to this crystal, or, you know, it's a very tangible thing,
Mm-hmm.
but they have this like instant connection, like, you know, I am a spirit animal, or this is me, or that, you know, or I am this crystal, you know, I feel it, or whatever. I mean, again, even down to like your car. Oh, I love my car. My car is my baby. My, you know, it's almost like, are you the car or is that your car? You know what I mean? And it is. It's that instant connection that you talk about.
Right. You know, I mean, I don't spend a second of my time in this 3D reality not being given the direct source of knowing from my teachers: Supreme Purity, Jade Purity, Highest Purity, Ling Bao, Jade Emperor, Lao Tzu. I got them on speed dial. They're my BFFs. They're present in my field. They're present in my physical body. They're present in this reality. Just as I see Jade, I see them present in the room right now. And if you sample the energy of this particular moment as I bring the realization to the audience of their presence, you will feel a rippling effect through the camera into your very field, and you will sample that supercharge of their energy, their spirit, their frequency, their vibration. Whew. That is the world that we live in.
Mm-hmm.
It's instantaneous. Always remember the most important thing is for you to create your source. That's what Jade and I teach people, to be able to channel their direct source. The direct source is second to none. There is nothing more powerful than your knowing. When you are thinking, you are absent of singularity. You are duality. When you are knowing, you are oneness. That's the field. You are the field. You are the universe. You are the Tao. You are God. You are Buddha. You are everything, and everything is you.
Mm-hmm. And everything has that feeling. You know, it's like people have their like favorite coffee cup, and it's like, well, it's just a cup. You drink, you know, you're drinking your coffee. You could drink it out of anything, and it's like, no, when I pour it in this cup, it feels different. You know what I mean? I like eating at a certain restaurant with certain utensils and certain, you know, the plate a certain way. And
I mean, let me tell you,
Yeah.
I drive Jade crazy. It's like you didn't give me the square fork and the specific round coffee cup and the plate that has a certain dip at the edge, because everything is energy,
it
people.
is.
Everything. And so you are replicating and oscillating and emitting this incredible frequency, the brainwave frequency that is ignited from your coherence, creating the synergy of a gamma, alpha, theta, epsilon. There's two major extremes. Let me tell you and get you to understand these brainwaves. They're both a place of manifestation, both a place of healing, both a place of magic, and it depends on where you are on the spectrum. When you experience the way 126, it will evoke either end of that spectrum, and both of them are just as powerful and all-encompassing and all-knowing. When you evoke these brainwaves through your coherence, creating the visual audible experience, evoking a kinesthetic response, the supercharge, that will take place. So what's quite evident, and I've had a very clear observation of, when you're experiencing the way 126, you will go hyper-conscious with the pliability of being porous to information, instantly absorbing anything and everything. Imagine you are a human vacuum. You suck up all the information, all the energy, all the frequency instantaneously, coming from this high gamma frequency that, you know, variable depends. I've never measured the hertz that I conduct, but I'm telling you, it's in the 200 to 400 range. I sweat like a, and am absolute blow the roof off when you are containing this energy. This is a container. This physical body is a container. Remember that. Your integrity, your constitution is determined by this container to how much you can harness the juice, baby. Mm-hmm. You want to harness the juice at the highest level so that you're able to nourish those energy centers with the 0.07 millivolts of electricity within every cell in your body, which are trillions of them, creating this walking, Christmas tree, really. And so you want to be able to contain the energy to raise your frequency and vibration through that coherence, syncing you as the field with a knowing of that instantaneous. It's magic instantly, manifestation instantly, healing instantly, and that's all it takes. That brainwave, man. And that synchronizing the heart, the brain, the gut, blammo. It's on like Donkey Kong. And once you get that kinesthetic response, all this other BS, identity, spenity, you need to get rid of your personality. You can't find the way without dissolving the pain and suffering. You are leading with a dialogue, ladies and gentlemen, that exists. Remember, your brain doesn't know the difference between what is an imagination that you have created in your mind and what you've experienced in this 3D reality. Understand this. People seem to forget it. That means that everything is a story, and stories can be erased, stories can be paused, stories can be eliminated instantly. Any story that you reflect on must be valuable in the sense of it having no emotional and energetic charge, which leaves it as wisdom. And that comes from you creating this coherence. And stop getting distracted by wondering why, you got beaten when you were 5 eating cookies by mommy or daddy or whatever it is. And realize those stories are not holding you to the limitations of you deciding you are the personality. You are not the personality. That is the story. And quite frankly, is the psyop that limits everybody from getting complete access to knowing everything. When you determine what it is. These people that are like, oh, well, you have to deal with the trauma. The trauma is what's holding you back. No. Have you ever been hypnotized? If you have a cell phone, you're hypnotized. If you have a computer, you're hypnotized. If you have a television, you're hypnotized. That means pretty much everyone on the face of the earth has watched this stuff. I'm using that as a foundational realization for you to have an acceptance that you go into trance. Have you driven a car? You're hypnotized. Have you peed? You're hypnotized. Have you walked? You're hypnotized. Are you breathing air? You're hypnotized. Is your heart beating? You're hypnotized. Booyah, 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 booyah. Guess what? This is going on in an autonomous level, guys. Mm-hmm. This is an unconscious process. You just want to bring the realization of how powerful your unconscious is, because that is instantaneous. That is picosecond. So the fact you have to create and build up this idea, all this emotional content is limiting me from my identity shift of being known as the field. The field is me. The field is me. I am the field. And if you can go into a trance, which is instantaneous, which we all have this incredible superpower, which is really where we're operating. You want 5D reality? That's shifting your consciousness. Consciousness is a trance, ladies and gentlemen. You are leveling up. Consciousness, unfortunately, won't be considered that, but this is the true hard facts. Consciousness is another shift of a trance. The trance is a leveling up, an awareness that is heightened through shifting in another dimension that gives you a viewpoint and a tangibility, your ability to morph, shift, and change something within a 3D reality. It's a trance. So, understand this. If you can shift into a trance instantaneously, if you can watch your cell phone, watch your TV, look at your laptop, that's how fast you can become superhuman. That's how fast you can realize and manifest, create magic, create healing instantaneously. So stop using the I am a victim, things are painful, my personality is holding me back. This is all the construct of your unconscious that you have created this linguistical programming, this mind prison that you are holding yourself back to. As fast as you say it, it becomes so. Mm-hmm. That's it.
You take that movie off a repeat,
delete it
and play something else.
And so, if you come from this place, and so many people do, and Tao willing, they will come to that realization. No journey is right or wrong. It's your journey where you are right here, right now, within your experience. And so for someone to dismiss your faith, your belief system, your journey, your state of realization is to dismiss themselves, is to dismiss the value of who they are individually and as a collective. So never, I repeat, never take the stance or the position that someone is lesser or greater than you. We are all the same, and always as a collective, you will come together as that singular. I am you, you are me. Mm-hmm. Realize that. And so this is where you're at. So understand that I know, and I've been doing this 30 years, that is not a deal breaker. That is not the fine print at the bottom of the screen, and you didn't call the infomercial to get the special tummy tuck or the extra diet fritter or whatever it is that you want to wake up at 3 a.m. to go and purchase online or off the TV, which used to be really, super like the insomniacs, all the people, which is majority of people. People don't realize they get very little sleep, very little ability to nourish this physical body to make it the most efficient tool for your realization of your eternal immortal self, having a human being experience. So, yes, because you wake up at 3 a.m., you think you have to pee, you could potentially, in your mind, consider that you might have diabetes, or maybe it might be something else that's even more comical, like, I'm hungry. No, that is your eternal immortal self waking you up and saying, it's time to get down with the get down. Your brain is oscillating in that theta frequency. You are ready and primed to create, to manifest, to heal. And this is your go time, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. When you wake up at 3 a.m., it's not infomercial time. It's not Instagram time. It's not chocolate cookie time. It's time for you to create, to manifest, to immerse yourself within who you really are, which is the oneness, the truth to everything. It's yours and yours for the taking. Everything is abundant, timeless, endless, limitless, infinite. The truth to everything. You are the truth. So distraction with the personality, feeling like, if I don't resolve all this pain and suffering within me, I'm not going to get to nirvana. I'm not going to be the enlightened chosen one. We all have it within us. The Tao was discovered thousands of years ago. You can be absent of your personality like that because you can understand this. If you've been there, I don't need to tell you this. You will realize it instantly listening to me on this camera. When you get there, there's no fighting it. There's no resistance. It's effortless action, guys. You will just be whole. It's selfless. There's nothing more, nothing less. Nothing will compel you. You just are. Nothing will drag you down or raise you up or diminish you or concentrate you. You are just with everything right here, right now.
Yeah, no thinking, just knowing.
Yeah.
And it does kind of feel like you're, I guess you could call it like absent-minded, or you're not thinking.
No.
You're just knowing, you're just feeling, you're just existing.
Right. And so states of consciousness are nothing more than that. The dirty word trance. That's it. Your ability to shift into and out of that, or stay in it, quite frankly, that's just my reality. I operate this 3D reality in a 5D, realization, which, I want to affect change for the better. My sole purpose is to raise frequency, energy, vibration, shifting your consciousness and realization of how all-powerful, all-knowing you really are. You are the master keeper, creator of your reality. That's all I'm here for. I'm a catalyst conduit of that. Yeah, baby. You know it. You know. That's what's up. Because there is nothing more profound than witnessing that shift in consciousness in anybody. Mm-hmm. It's like that defining moment when you see your kids going, Dad, I could do this. Wow. Whoa. Whoa, look at this, Dad. Wow. That is what my life is. One big wow moment, every second of every minute. And it keeps me in that conscious, coherent state day in, day out. Oh, yeah, baby. And that is not something that I want for you to realize that. I don't want you to realize that you are all powerful and you are the source to everything, that you are the field, you are the one, you are the quantum, you are the universe, you are the Tao, you are God, Buddha. I know. And guess what happens? Once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. I know that you are. And I know that this is your moment of realization. I know this is your shift of confidence, a consciousness to level up, and that is so all-powerful. It's yours, always has been. You were never absent of it. You were just being controlled to disbelieve, controlled to limit your realization by the way you were constructed. But if you're here and you're listening to Jade and I, then part of your reincarnation in this lifetime is to be conscious, is to be aware, to be enlightened. Effortless action, yeah, baby. And so all these ancient practices that we talk about, that we lean upon, that have been dismissed over time, indigenous ancient practices that are so powerful, that are so reflectant of this incredible high technology that is ancient, which is the human being. There's nothing that can trump it. There's nothing. It is second to none. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and, we're just here to share it with as many people as possible.
Right? Jade, one of her areas of excellence is infusing and cultivating these incredible, potent, addictive, hypnotic, love-infused flavors and sensationalized, and the sensation, the tasty, incredible infusion of what she puts into the food that she creates, which we always base everything that's organic, it's all plant-based, and that doesn't mean that it's beyond meat, ladies and gentlemen.
Whole food.
Whole food. None of this plastic poison garbage that has been shown to be an illusion. Do yourself a favor, do the world a favor, eat a bug and some plastic tofu, and you're going to live forever after. No, that is not the case. It's whole food. And even right now, through some epigenetic scientists that have been showing through and through in several decades, and especially right now today in 2023, understanding your gene expression is dictated by being switched on and off, not only through your intention, but the foods that you eat that nourish your body, that determine the physical outcome. You are the master keeper, creator of that. So what you do, how you put the food in, what the body does with it to create an alchemical response, and you can dictate that with your intention to circumvent, navigate, create, direct, laser focus that energy through this whole physical body, in and outside the physical body, into the field, out into infinity, is when you put that food in your body, it turns on and off genes. So understand this, let food be thy medicine. Mm-hmm. Socrates, I think, which is a classic one, but he was so right, downloading that. Another incredible superpower humans have. You can put this in and create this incredible response. You want to be sure on what you're putting into your physical body. We as Taoists nurture this reincarnation in this lifetime, and we stretch it out. So, our intention is immortality, but we'll definitely stretch out mortality to the highest level. Knowing our immortality is never ending, is self-prevalent, and a realization that, guess what? You are eternal. It never ends. That is profound in of itself. But using these types of resources to elevate the experience that you're having as a human being, because you want to maximize every second of every minute of every hour of every day of every week of every month of every year of your life.
Yeah, that's like, I always think of video games, because it's like most gamers, it's like they have, you know, you look at their games or you watch them play online and they have like 50,000 lives, and like you couldn't even go through. But that's kind of the mindset. Is it's like while you're living this existence, gain as many level ups as possible, and create that longevity, that you already have the knowing that you're immortal, but you can play endlessly as long as you want. You're not limited by, oh, you know, I thought it would be funny to just, oh, you know, lose all my lives by jumping off the building, or, you know, throwing myself in the river, or whatever the video game is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, you want to play, you want to play as long as you want. You don't want to be controlled by that.
Mm-hmm.
Same type of thing.
Right from the mouth of the Jade Emperor. When you believe, when you know you are not of this body, what can harm you? Mic drop. That is a level up of consciousness that so many people who are programmed to be fearful, to subscribe to fear of itself, that emotion, and then they're like, I don't want to die. That's not the messaging, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. But it triggers that instant reaction from most people when I say that. It's a level of consciousness. It's a trance up. It's a level up. It's a shoo. That's where magic happens. That's where healing happens. That's where manifestation happens.
Yeah. And even just that in itself, the linguistics of like, I don't want to die versus the saying, like, I want to live my best, happiest, fullest life.
Mm-hmm.
Same message, just in different tones, completely different mindsets and linguistics. Right.
It's just like the fad that's very interesting right now, and I notice this with a lot of self-helpers, a lot of motivators, a lot of these things. They use these words, and it's almost like hearing an echo. You could just go from one channel to another. There's like 1,000 channels using the same word. It's like a rippling effect, but that's why you understand when we're interconnected, one person's great idea turns into 1 million people's great ideas. Understand that. It's like you have all the answers. They're already inside you. They're there. The truth is already there. You're not realizing anything you didn't already know. That's where you experience the Groundhog Day. But, you know, the one that my personality struggles with is, I'm authentic and unapologetic. And so that's a double negative in so many senses of the word when you realize what that means. Is they're validating that you have to tell yourself you're a good person, and if you act in virtue, you have none whatsoever, directly from the Tao Te Ching. Listen and let that echo through your very essence. The fact that you have to force something from the Tao Te Ching, if you force it, it will hold and then break. Effortless action does not mean that you are thinking, you are knowing, and you are accepting and allowing, and with that fluidity, with that synchronization comes the manifestation, the magic, the healing instantaneously. So you don't have to be someone who's, you know, struggling, finding their authenticity, finding that they are unapologetic. What would you have to not apologize for if you didn't do it in the first place? Not so quite sure. It's more that is a catalyst to validate people that have their own perception of reality, where they're struggling with a lot of things, and just i.e. the first thing that would be the indicator, the red flag, which would be, I'm struggling. Linguistics, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, you're using this word. It tells me everything I know about your unconscious, everything I know about what's going on deep inside the darkest deepest corners of your mind. I'm struggling with being authentic. I'm struggling with being unapologetic. You don't have to be unapologetic for being who you are. You don't have to validate your position and your truth as you know it. The only truth is your truth. That's the only thing you need to be concerned about. When you don't make it about yourself, you're going to have a charmed and effortless life. Boom. I just gave you a nugget that will save you 100 hours on someone's, couch, ranting off whatever is the obstacle, the thing that is distracting you from your reality, and you're being told that you have to eradicate yourself of that to be whole. Intuitively, you're just using this person as a sounding board to hear your own voice and to validate what you want to use as a distraction from your reality. This is all neurology, guys. All of it. There are no exceptions. And so when you continue to do this, the more and more validation you get from someone that you're paying to be the yes person to, they're the yes person. You just pay them to say yes to you, to validate what it is that you have simulated as your reality as a story that is exactly what that is. You can't dismiss my feelings. You can't refute that. I'm not dismissing anything. I'm just nothing but a burning light, a catalyst, a conduit to several thousands, 10,000-year-old ancient Taoist practices that have been sound, battle-tested and proven and are sought after in this day and age, understanding our affinity with the universe, with the energy, our understanding how to master that and utilize it. And I can tell you from over 30 years experience doing this, your emotions don't control you, you control your emotions. Mic drop. And you don't need someone to tell you whether you're authentic and unapologetic to realize that. Again, we talk about linguistics. However you stagger these words into your very sentences, it's really telling people how you think. It all comes out in the language, in the linguistics. There is no right, there is no wrong. All we're saying is, when you start to observe this, first person, third person, no person, you can make your life real easy, real fast. You don't have to be beating a drum, extracting all the pain and suffering. That will just dissolve. The coherence just torches that like a flamethrower, guys. Bam! Oh my goodness, what am I supposed to be confused about? I was, but now I'm so high on life and everything is just so effortless action. Where have I heard that before? Oh my goodness. You got it. You got it all. You got everything. All we're doing is giving you a refresher to realizing that you are everything. That's your power, the singular.
Mm-hmm. Get back to default.
Default is correct. So, basically the very essence of what we're talking about today is understanding how powerful you are, the ancient practice, this incredible high-tech ancient technology that is high-tech, that has been around for hundreds of thousands of years. And you got it. You possess it. You own it. You don't need to worry about, I want to own the latest Tesla, or, I want the best computer, I want the latest iPhone, blah, 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 blah. You have it all. Mm-hmm. I need AI to get anywhere in my life. You got it. You already have it. You possess it. You own it. There isn't a single thing on the face of this earth that comes even close to a human being. Never will. That's the fallacy. That's the delusion that you're being sold. That's the state of mind that you have been crafted into believing, which takes you away from your oneness, that compartmentalizes you and separates you from the singular. By giving yourself an identity, by playing identity politics in of itself. Because that's all it is. The more you compartmentalize things, the more confused you get, the more you think you are the mind is you, and that isn't even coming from here. Consciousness is not this body, guys. Consciousness is not your brain. Consciousness is everything. And that's why the scientific community are still attempting to qualify that, quantify that, and they can't define it. If you ask a scientist what intention is, they go, I don't know. I don't have a 0 or 1 for that. If you ask a scientist what consciousness is, I don't know. I don't have a formula for that one. And you'll ask them, do you believe it exists? And they'll be like, no comment, but yes, I do believe it exists. But I have yet to find the formula to validate that that is a thing. But I know I use it every day to get my favorite parking spot outside of Krispy Kreme's when I'm looking for my coffee and donut in the morning on the way to work. Wow. So you have that moment. So I think we went over a lot in relation to ancient practices.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jade can go very deep into, and we will in the future, over nutrition, because I mean that's her bag, that's her thing. She loves that, and she infuses, imprints, you know, the power of the Tao and her connection with the singular, and her you know, her incredible love into everything that she does, and so nurturing.
Next time.
And next time. So with that, I think, you know, our affinity with the universe, our understanding of the magical tools that we possess, the integration of not being distracted with the fact that you already have it within you, and looking for something external is not your answer. You come to that realization, coming to the point of understanding the way 126 experience. It's your instant activator of the kinesthetic response through a visual and audible experience, creating that, giving you a go time, a register that you are the field, making it possible to manifest, create magic and healing instantaneously. That is your realization. That is your level up. And that is your entry point to who you really are realizing.
Ooh.
Ooh. Any closing comments or words that you wanted to have for the audience?
I think we went over so much.
We did go over so
Yeah.
much. Well, with that said, I want to thank my co-host, the divine, delectable High Priestess Jade. I want to thank the still current presence of Avanity. You're in my field, girl. You keep coming at me, and I love it. I do. I am very much, have a very close heart to you, my friend, and that connection is replicated every time you come to me, and you're greatly appreciated and valued for everything that you offer, no matter what stage or realization of your reality that you've been in. It's a brand new day. It's good to be us.
It is. It's good to be you.
It's good to be me. It's good to be you.
No, yeah, I was talking
And
to
right,
you
right.
and the camera.
Very
but yes,
good.
It's good to be
It's good to be you. And with that said, I am your humble servant and Sifu, Taoist Master San Quinn. See you on the next one, guys.